Alrighty, YouTubes, let's go through the mystical archive cards that were all spoiled this weekend so we can wrap our heads around what is going on here and then focus back on the Strixhaven cards, which I really appreciate Wizards doing the reveal like this because it does help us just kind of focus on one thing at a time as opposed to jumping back and forth. I'm going to go through all the cards, just kind of read through them so you're aware of what's in this card spot because they will be showing up in drafts on MTG Arena in those paper packs that we hope we get to crack and play with friends and such. But also, just so we're thinking about, all right, how will these really work in draft or sealed? What valuable ones are out there so I know which ones to snag right away? Don't worry, touch on all that. Now, jumping right into it, 63 different ones. There's uncommons, rares, and mythics. The mythics are probably, they're twice as rare as a normal mythic. So what, 3-ish in a box? The point is they're rarer. So we're going to see a lot of the uncommons and the rares showing up with the occasional mythic here and there. It's interesting too, because it kind of takes Strixhaven from an expansion set into this kind of pseudo-master set, having these cards appear from all of Magic's history, but again, they're rather rare. There's only one per pack, 63 total, so you're not even going to see the whole set coming out of an entire booster box. Now, Approach to the Second Sun, costing 7, having to play it twice to really get any value from it. Hopefully you can win a game of Limited by turn 15 or 16, which is like when you normally play this thing unless you have some way to cheat it out or get to it quicker. But yeah, it's like a cool card. Everyone should use one, could get one of them or should have one of them in their collection. Day of Judgment, it's like Wrath of God, but different, but same. It's like same, different, you know? Love the artwork though. And that's gonna be the crazy, like how collectible, how valuable will these versions be? Because they're giving me like expansion, Zendikar Expedition vibes, or they're giving me like a weird card that like in paper doesn't resonate as well as I'm hoping it does. But all these so far, kind of a fan of. I must admit, I'm excited to see these things in paper. Now, Defiant Strike, this is like one of those cards you'd see in any expansion set. It's just a classic little combat trick. Neat. Divine Gambit, same thing, we just saw it. And it's a card that I always thought would be better in Limited, but not all that exciting. But at least this new artwork looks pretty dope, gotta say. Ephemerate helps you blink your thing, protect it, get some more ETB triggers. And it's got Rebound. Again, nothing like over the top for Limited. Gift of Estates, if you're playing white, helps you get some planes in your hand. Unless you're on the play, and then it's kind of useless because you're probably not going to get to play it anytime soon. Although if you do play it later on, it helps thin your deck. I don't know, like for Limited, probably not the most exciting card. God's Willing, protection for your stuff. Mana Tithe is back. Not a bad card, worth about $1. And it can be that really surprising white counterspell that your opponent does not see coming. So the first time you play it, it's probably going to be really spicy. From there on out, your opponent may be playing around it, but even then, you're still getting value from just that intimidation factor. Revitalize, gain 3 life, draw a card, star cantrip. Swords to Plowshares. Here's a card you're ecstatic to probably draft, because for 1 white, you get to exile a problem card from your opponent, and they gain some life, which could be a big deal, but probably getting rid of that problem is more than worth it. Fairy's Protection, one of the most valuable cards getting reprinted, has always been $40-50 at least, and now we're seeing it pop up in this. So if you're in a paper draft and somehow you open it or get it passed to you and you get to keep the cards you draft, you take this card 99 out of 100 times. Blue Sun Zenith helps you draw some cards worth a few bucks. Neat. Brainstorm, getting its 1 millionth reprint, can be decent in Limited because it can help you find your card, but not over the top helpful. This is a card you probably snag because you want one for your collection. You want it for like a commander deck or a constructed deck. Impulsive Research, another card that's decent. Counterspell, I would say, is quite good. So if you're playing blue, you probably want it. And this card looks... I 100% want one of these cards. It just looks sweet. And for 2 blue, Counterspell, Limited, not too bad. Memory Lapse counters it, but puts it on top of their library. Mind's Desire, another mythic, but only worth $1 or $2. And probably not all that exciting for Limited, although... you have a way to produce a ton of mana. This could be a fun like bomb that you throw in there and have a weird janky win con. I'm all for it. Bringing this to Historic though is also kind of cool, and that could be probably where this card's more suited to give you a lot of value. Negate, just classic blue cards right here. Classic blue cards, awesome artwork. If you like this, boom, you get a new card, or you get a new version of a card you play a lot of. Negates, Ops, Strategic Planning, not so much, but there. Hazard's Gambit, we get some Phyrexian mana showing up. Okay. Draw 2 cards, then Proliferate. Don't mind if we do. And then Time Warp. Here's a card that could definitely win you a game in Limited. Could win you a game in any format. 5 mana, take an extra turn. Also worth at least 15-ish bucks. And with this form, I mean, there's no way this version of it isn't worth at least that, because this thing looks thick. Whirlwind Denial, another counterspell. Although this one kind of fell flat in limited, like it definitely had its moments. Yeah, there are those times where this card just blew out whatever your opponent was trying to do. But then generally speaking, it was just a counterspell that fell off in the late game. Agonizing Remorse. Black has a lot of just hand hate, removal kind of thing. Then we get Ugin, Nicol Bolas Fighting, Crux of Fate, destroy all dragons or non-dragons. Worth, how much is it worth? A couple bucks, yeah. Dark Ritual, who doesn't like Dark Ritual? Another cool version that you could or could not play, depending on whatever your favorite one is. Why did I just click on Whirlwind Denial? Demonic Tutor. This is a card, again, you want to grab. Save yourself 40, 50 bucks from having to buy it and just pick up this thick-looking version. Yeah, this thing's sweet. Doomblade, if you've ever seen this card before, it's just a really efficient black removal spell. So if you're drafting black, it would be a good card to snag. We got Duress, we have Eliminate right here. Again, some more removal cards. Inquisition of Kozilek. Pay 1 black, look at your opponent's hand. They discard a non-land card for a mana cost 3 or less. Not too shabby. Worth a few bucks. Don't mind if we do. Sign in Blood. Tainted Pact. Here's another quite valuable card from Odyssey getting a reprint. Over 80 bucks right now. Don't know if it'll stay at that. I would imagine not. But this card version, depending on how in demand it is, who knows? But again, card I would happily draft if I'm in paper and get to keep it. Slamming that thing, putting it in the binder. Just paid for my draft. Life's good. Tendrils of Agony, Village Rites, just other cards we see. Although Tendrils of Agony, this thing's from a while ago, isn't it? Yeah, Scourge. The good old days. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life and you storm it out. Just blow them up for 48 damage. Probably not 48, but you know what I mean. Village Rites, card we've seen a few times now. Chaos Warp is a card that you're happy to play in just about every commander deck that plays red, because it's that spicy removal-ish kind of card that definitely makes a game more exciting, and that moment can be very tense when they reveal that top card. In limited, not so sure how I'd want to play it, but definitely a card I'd be happy to add to my collection. Now with red, what was this card again? Claim the Firstborn. It's the Goblin. I should have known from the Goblin, but we're still in this little goober, turning it into our little goober until they get it back, or we do something more sad to it. Probably sacrificing it, right? That's what you usually do it for. Claim it. Sorry about your loss. Thanks for the benefit. Now we get into the most polarizing card in this whole thing because of the artwork. And I'm just going to say, well done, Carly Mazur, for doing your thing, for not changing your approach to art, your style for Magic. Like, I get that it's a very jarring style. When you look at the other cards of Magic, and the cards around it are not a good group to compare it to, because these are already quite a unique art style for what we're used to seeing with Magic cards. The fact is, we're just not used to seeing this very lifelike human form on a Magic card. So yeah, it's super jarring. It's going to stand in stark juxtaposition to all the other Magic cards in a deck with it. But I don't think it's bad. Like, I appreciate when Wizards and Magic tries new things, because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over, even though I'm a homer for all the old style cards, for all the old border foils, I get that change helps keep things new and fresh and just engaging. If you just keep doing the same thing, eventually it gets old and boring. You gotta try new stuff. Now, do I want this to be the new norm right away? Probably not. Because it just doesn't feel like Magic. It just feels more like a different style that I'm not used to. But I more than respect Carly sticking with her thing, and I hope she gets more chances to make some cards, because, yeah, I just think new stuff can really help everyone grow in some way, shape, or form. Even if this card isn't my cup of tea, I appreciate it. Moving on. Grape Shot, classic red finisher in the old Storm decks. And then, what was this? This is the old Increasing Vengeance. Get to copy stuff, and then if you flash it back, get to copy it twice. Feels good, you know. Not the most valuable thing in the world, but could be quite effective in limited. Infuriate, efficient combat trick, nice. Lightning Bolt, always an awesome card. Mizzix's Mastery, a card that you don't mind picking up, worth a few bucks. Get to exile a card, then you can copy it and cast it without paying its mana cost. Or if you can overload it, you probably just win if you have enough cards in your, or I guess enough cards to target that just get you there. Although it does cost a measly 8 mana. But yeah, that's a pretty sweet card to just pop off with and limited and your opponent not see coming. Then we see, I mean, if we have Lightning Bolt, you have to have Shock, right? This one's Shock. 2 damage. 3 damage, 2 damage. A little bit better. A lot of bit better. Stone Rain. Probably not going to see a ton of these because, well, it's a rare. And not going to be able to do a land hate. But if you want a sweet version of Stone Rain, there you go. Still a possibility. Urza's Rage. Abundant Harvest. Abundant Harvest is a card from Modern Horizons 2. So it's actually not limited in Modern until Modern Horizons 2 comes out. This is like the new card. Of all the other cards are reprints except for Abundant Harvest. It's a new card that's getting its debut in the Mystical Archive spot. And I'm excited for the day there's a card that pays you off for revealing cards. And this could be some janky way to reveal your entire deck. You just make it 59 lands and 1 Abundant Harvest, name non-land, reveal your entire library, and then win with whatever other card is eventually going to be made. But this gets you some value. It seems like a pretty solid card, actually. For 1 green, don't mind if we do. What does it do? Choose land or non-land, reveal cards from the top of your library. Until you reveal a card of the chosen kind, put it in your hand. Rest on the bottom of your library. Seems good. Adventurous Impulse. We've seen it a few times now. Channel. This card's basically banned in everything but a restricted vintage possibility. So basically you're going to open it, probably not play it at all, if ever. Great. It's not really worth anything either. But it's a cool card. There's a lot of history to it. If we have any X spells in Strixhaven, this could maybe see its place in limited, but it's generally speaking like not great in limited because like it helps you cheat something out earlier. So yeah, in a perfect situation where you have it in your hand early, helps you cheat something out which your opponent can't interact with, maybe it's worth it. But overall, like 2 for 1 yourself like that, probably not. Cultivate, another card that you're happy to ramp with, helps fix your mana, could work. Harmonize, draw 3 cards. The other card that Carly got to do, less jarring, but still stands in juxtaposition to other artworks you're probably used to seeing in Magic. Scrolling back up. I think the beady red eyes too, like that's probably another thing that probably puts people off from that card. I want to see how it is in paper though. Like, is it that jarring or is it more jarring? Is it less jarring? I don't want to like jump the gun. I just appreciate a new art style showing up in Magic. Then we get Croson Grip, another solid card just to have at the ready when you're building a new commander deck. Natural Order, card that you absolutely want to draft if you're in paper because again, it's valuable, helpful to any green deck. Get to sack a creature and then put another green creature from your library on the battlefield. Like find your behemoth and just go to town. I can't remember what's the name. Colossal Behemoth. No, just get Colossal Dreadmaw. Never mind. That's what you're playing it for. Primal Command, another mythic. Regrowth? Regrowth. Turn target card from graveyard to your hand. Nice. Snakeskin Veil, Weather the Storm, D-Spark, the old War of the Spark, Nicol Bolas going to work. Actually, he's the one getting D-Sparked. Sorry about it, bro. Electrolyze, Growth Spiral. Love this artwork. Oh my gosh, I love this artwork. We got Lightning Helix, we got Putrefy. So yeah, I mean, you can see like there's just good cards, but there's not a lot of like holy moly, that card's gonna win you every game when you play it, right? Like it's just fun versions and awesome new artworks of cards that we've seen for a while. Like some we got to go back quite a bit. Channel, haven't seen that in quite some time. Actually, we just saw it in Iconic Master, so it wasn't all that long ago. But Tainted Pact, you know, like some throwbacks that could use the reprint. Fairy's Protection, definitely don't mind seeing that card coming back. But yeah, there's like some spicy cards that, depending on how your draft is going, would be a ton of fun to play. But overall, they're just going to be cards if your opponent's playing them. They're like effective cards. But balancing drafting these versus what's also going to be in the entire set of Strixhaven will be a fun challenge when drafting. Now let's just scroll through the Japanese versions because, oh my, these things are beautiful looking as well. Like, how do you look through this and not think these things look pretty sweet? They may not look like Magic cards right away to me because the whole full art border thing, but they come across almost to me like people that commission cards to be drawn or painted or, you know, full bordered up for their custom commander deck or whatever. It's like Wizards went out and paid people to make these versions full border so that we could put them in our commander decks or whatever else. I mean, whoever out there is buying some Japanese boxes to crack open, hope you get the ones you want because these things look sweet. Yeah, again, like appreciate the new art styles coming over and at least giving it a try. Keeping the cards feeling nice, spicy. Do you have a favorite? Mine's probably this Demonic Tutor. This thing's awesome looking. Like that thing. definitely be eye-catching. I also like the duress. I think that looks pretty sweet. This opt. I do like opt quite a bit. Is it? Why can I not see what the name is? Yeah, opt. Jeez. I can read. But that's going to do it for this review of all the Strixhaven cards. I mean, there's some that are going to be helpful and limited. There's going to be ones that show up in a draft and you're going to be like, how the heck did you get that card? Feel so unlucky. Life is unfair. And I hope that doesn't happen. It's probably gonna, though. To you, to me, to all of us. But I also hope every time that happens, you also get to like pick up a Teferi's Protection. And then life's good. And you're happy. Because you just drafted a card that paid for the entire draft. What's not to love about that? I hope these cards look as good as I hope they do in person. Because that would be really cool just to have another awesome option to throw into a commander deck or build around. And I hope if this thing goes well, like if having the whole Mystical Archive card slot in packs works, that Wizards revisits it and, you know, maybe not every set, but just it's a little extra thing to throw into booster packs and make the draft and field experience that much more fun and unique. So yeah, hope this helped you at least wrap your head around what cards we're going to see in Mystical Archive. Let's keep getting excited and getting into these Strixhaven spoilers. I think that set's looking good. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, my friends. Peace.